Hey everyone, it's J-OneHundred GT. Alright, so on this road to A+, I took a few steps backwards a few weeks ago when Daily Race B was Trial Mountain. Even though I enjoy that track, I did not get the results I wanted based on some tricky opponents and mistakes of my own. And coming into the next week at Tokyo Expressway, my DR dropped a bit into the 6,000 range from the lower 8,000s I had when I need to get 10,000 DR to reach B rank. So this week, no, better yet, this stream session, I need to redeem myself and get that DR back up. So I ran a few races before this one, trying to get the hang of the track. And after cleaning up some areas and qualifying, I start this race in third. Based on the pace of Tommy Toofy, I wasn't really looking or was even worried about getting a win necessarily. I just wanted a clean and fair race and to maintain the highest position I can get so I can get as many DR points as possible. If that's from a win, even better. But him having a 2-second quali gap is pretty significant at this track. The beginning of the race was pretty clean and fair until I kick off the drama in the front, at least, by losing the back end while trying to power out of the hairpin at the end of the lap. I hold it together for the most part, thankfully, and only lose one position, but while doing so, we learned that not only did Tommy Toofy also spin out, but they left the race, which was surprising news, but gets me motivated and changes my strategy because he was the only car who had the pace that I felt that I needed to be worried about. Oh, Tommy Fee lost. He left. What? That was the dude that we need. All right, so we could go for the win here, bro. The straight is very long here, and the slipstream is heavy, so drivers have decisions to make when it comes to giving bumps or not. For the most part, at least for my races, drivers have been pretty fair and generous with the bumps. Some guys opt out of bumping and use the slip to try to gain position, and I've done it a couple of times myself, so that's fair. But like I said, at least with me, things were fair, which I appreciate. So I gave JDM a bit of a push here so we could fight for the front, but they allow me to take the inside by the time we get to turn 1, and by turn 2, we're able to take the position. It seems like JDM really got out of sorts because by the end of the sequence, he's also overtaken by SF Delta. I get defensive by the hairpin, but I'm able to maintain position. And it also helped that C Money was able to cause a bit of a commotion and take the position from Delta, which allows me to get a little bit of a gap, but the gap wasn't far enough to get away from C Money getting a tow from the slipstream. But that's okay, because he gives me some helpful pushes, and as we get to turn 1, I see that the leaders touch. And from my perspective, it looked like a dirty move at the time, but upon further review, I don't know. It just seems like they both get wide and end up touching each other. Basta doesn't take the turn correctly, goes wide and hits the wall. And as he's bouncing off the wall, Fernando is trying to slide by, but gets clipped by Basta, who's trying to recover. So I don't know. I mean, I'll say right now that I don't think it was dirty and it was just unfortunate. But during the race, I was skeptical. So you're dirty? Do I not want to be near you? Did he just do a dirty move and just not give the place back because he's first and he wants to be first? I don't like it. And I want you to pin that part on the wall real quick because we'll go back to that. But anyway, so now we are P2 with plenty of race left. I want to keep my distance from Basta up front while trying to gap the cars behind because I don't know if Basta's dirty or not. Unfortunately, JDM, who's keeping Delta behind, spins out while trying to power out of the straight before the hairpin and unleashes Delta, who's able to catch up to me on the long straight due to the slip. I'm able to hold him off until we get to the hairpin and he hits me in the back. Luckily, it only just slightly slows me down, but it throws them off, and then they have to serve a penalty at the end of the lap, which I was kind of confused about during the race. I don't see no thing above them. Why you ain't got no penalty? Hey, Polyphony, why he ain't got no penalty? So he could just hit me like that and then just get close from the draft. Okay, y'all some hoes. I think he did have a penalty. Good. Get away from me. Get away from me. And my fastest lap. Not the fastest lap, but my fastest lap. Let's get a fastest lap, because we're gonna win this. But after this, it's just about cutting the distance from Basta and trying to make a move to win the race. Things don't get interesting until lap 8, where he makes a mistake in the chicane at turn 5 and 6 that I keep noticing happening. I catch up and pass him by the time we hit the back straight, approaching the hairpin, but he seemingly overcooks it and goes way too deep. And I was being really cautious at this moment, and I end up taking the corner way too slow, and he ends up taking the position back. But that's okay, because we have a few more laps left, which means we have a few more chances in the slipstream. I got scared. I'll admit it. Basta swerves to try to break the slipstream, which doesn't work, and then has a bad turn 1, which allows me to gain. And like I said, I was noticing throughout the race that Basta was not quick after the chicane at turns 5 and 6. And that would be my opportunity to gain on him, which I kind of do here, but I'm just trying to set up my last chance. He tries to break up the slip again, which again is unsuccessful. But then I go a little wide into turn 1, which ends up being okay because he goes wide into turn 2, which ends up being great because I'm gaining on him at what is clearly his worst section to go through and my best. He, of course, doesn't get the great exit out of the chicane like predicted, and by the time we get to turn 8, he's compromised. But then he starts moving under braking while brake checking me, which sends him into the wall. I try to slide by him on the inside, but he does the same thing he did before, remember that, while bouncing off the wall, clips my back end, which makes me go into the wall. I keep it together for the most part, but hitting the wall is making me go wide through this turn, and he's right behind trying to pass me. And so me going wide pushes him into the wall, which, I mean, I was gonna go wide anyway. That's just a wide turn. So, unfortunate for him, but I get to keep the position in the lead going down the back straight. But then entering the hairpin, he smacks the water barrier and hands me the win. I mean, that's just great. I mean, listen, I wasn't even looking for the win at this moment, but there was a couple of times through this race where no, I spoke it into existence. I was going to get this win. And even though this was my 3rd or 4th race of the day, this was a great start for me, getting that DR back, and certainly was a chance to build some momentum. Win. That's how you do it. That's how you raise your DR. You win. Let's go. The very next race was terrible as I spun out early and was unable to get back into the points, so I wanted to cut some time in qualifying to get a better position as my DR was climbing back up. This session, I find a little over a 10th, which puts me 5th in this split as I'm going against new and unfamiliar rivals. Things get spicy at turn 1 when HRT Mao brakes cautiously in front of us, which makes me brake earlier than I would like, get smacked on the side, and lose a position coming out of the corner. Surviving all that, I get a better exit than the guys ahead when we get to the chicane at turns 5 and 6, grabbing my 5th position back. Going down the back straight, heading to the hairpin, I was worried about the scuffle that was looking to unfold up front, and I missed my brake point, overcooked the hairpin, causing me to smack Gustavo on re-entry and lose 2 positions. I'm not too worried as it's just lap 1. We have plenty of race left. Bolt must have gotten a way better exit than me because he uses the slip to catapult past me, putting me in 8th now. But Bolt, just like a lot of other racers, seem to not be good at the chicane section, and I'm able to get the position back. By the time we enter the back straight, I've pretty much caught up to Gustavo, who has to serve a penalty, which would give us P6 back, but he loses it powering out of the hairpin, so we get the position back a little bit early. When we get to the chicane, HRT Mao must have hit the wall because we cut the gap in half pretty quickly, and then by the chicane on the next lap, we are on his ass. He must have felt the pressure because he goes wide and hits the wall at turn 9, but is able to maintain position for the moment as we head down the back straight. At the hairpin on lap 5, we inherit a position from someone ahead dropping out of the race. We always love free and easy positions around here. On lap 6, HRT Mao finally makes some mistakes we can take advantage of as they have a bad turn 1 and then an even worse turn 2, and we are able to gain and take P4. Just like most of everyone else so far, they suck at the chicane, and I make a quick and easy gap. With about 4.5 laps left and 11-second gap to the lead, the only thing I'm focused on now is catching up to Relax Racer to see if maybe I can make a run for P2, but at least get a podium. Relax was maintaining a gap ahead for a while, but of course at the chicane, something happens and the gap evaporates. He goes wide at turn 8 and hits a wall, which allows me to overtake him down the back straight. We go wheel to wheel at the hairpin, keeping it fair and clean just the way I like it, but he gets the better exit and grabs the position back. But that's fine because I'm trying to get a podium, but I do care about the DR points a little bit more. I know where he's weak and we have a lot of race left, so ultimately I can probably get the position back. I don't need to wait too long because again, they have a terrible turn 1 and turn 2, and we're easily able to grab the position and end the race on the last step of the podium. That was an interesting but fun race, and I was happy to get a podium and a few extra DR points for my efforts. Now I'm starting to get the hang of the track even more as I'm able to pull out another 10th out of my time. But we start the race again in 5th. This time with some familiar names from past races like Basta and JDM and Delta. At race start, it looks like Theus is trying to do the last to first challenge and immediately drops back position, so we get an easy P4. I'm not sure what Basta was trying to accomplish at turn 1, but I slide past him as he scrapes the wall, then get a bump from him which makes me go wide a bit, but I maintain it and gain the position. There must have been some carnage in the back because Basta drops way back. RFB was not good at the chicane nor turns 8 and 9, and I'm able to pull ahead for a bit at the hairpin. We go wheel to wheel, and I showcase my clean racing, but he gets a better exit and grabs the position back. As y'all already know, I'm cool with that because there's plenty of race left, and I'm going to have the slipstream going down the long straight, and this guy is weak in crucial areas, so it's only a matter of time. That time came a bit earlier and more controversial than I expected. RFB went into turn 1 really slow, which makes me brake earlier than I wanted to, but then gives me a better exit, right? So I pull out to the inside since I'm carrying more speed, and he turns into me and spins himself out. Now, for me, this is a clear and easy, stupid move on RFB's part for a few reasons. The first one being he compromised his turn from the jump because he went in too slow and washed out wide and hit the wall. Not only did I anticipate his move, I made sure that I didn't compromise my turn and got a great exit. Now he was going to be overtaken at this corner no matter what. The second is that he clearly turned into me. If you look ahead at the still shot, you see Escargot up ahead just starting to make the turn. If the leader is just now making the turn, why is this guy trying to turn? Unless he's trying to turn into me to maintain position. That's his fault. I'm P2 now. That's how I see it. Let me know what you think in the comments. All right, so after all that, the goal of this race now is to keep JDM behind us and to catch Escargot and win this race. I get close to Escargot a few times at turn 1 due to the slipstream, but he's always able to maintain position. A few mistakes on my part allowed JDM to finally catch back up, and he gives me a few bumps, so he's able to catch up to the lead as well. But his last bump gives me the boost I need and messes up his turn 1 and 2 sequence, which allows me to gain on Escargot and gap JDM. I get close to passing Escargot at the hairpin again, but he maintains position and we reset for another round. I use the slip for a toe going down the long straight. I opt to not give him a bump this time and make a play later in the race and go down the inside for an overtake. And I make a clean overtake at turn 1. On lap 7, I have a bad exit out of the chicane, and Escargot is able to overtake, which allows JDM to catch back up as well. JDM goes wide coming out of turn 8 and hits the wall, and then powering out of the hairpin, Escargot spins out, handing me P1. JDM doesn't give me a bump this time as he tries to go past at turn 1. He kind of gets ahead as we go wheel to wheel into turn 2, but I get the better exit and maintain position. Now, I want to go back and highlight this move here because it's a sexy move, but to make my point earlier in the race about RFB. Now, it's clear that you can go side to side here, and instead of doing this beautiful, sexy move like I did, he decided to turn in and spin himself out. So that's another reason and more evidence of why I wasn't worried about taking P2. Now, JDM gets close to me one more time as he gives me a bump here, but ultimately he's not able to overtake my pace and even overdrives coming out of the exit of turn 9 at the end here, and we get a second win. Now, listen, that one was expectedly unexpected. And what I mean is, I obviously wanted to win, but I was not expecting Escargot to spin out like that. I was not expecting to go wheel to wheel with JDM at turn 2 like that. But I'm glad that Escargot spun out. I'm glad that we were able to have some clean racing there at the end. And I get win number 2. Now, I was thinking of ending the stream on a second win, but I was feeling myself. So I decided to give it one more race. And that race was terrible. I ended 13th. We don't need to worry about that. Let's move on. So I decided to give it one more race. And from the battles I was having in the other races, I believe that I found a few places where I could gain some time in qualifying. And I ended up finding over a second, which had me starting this race second. There were some familiar faces in this lobby, but basically after turn 1 and getting bumped a few times, the race was between NPPS and I. On turn 1, he goes wide and hits the wall, which allows me to take position. But then on lap 3, he decides to pass from the slip. So I decide to pass from the slip and maintain P1. But later in the lap, while trying to defend on the inside, I go too deep and he regains P1. Then on lap 5, at the good old trusty chicane, I gain on him. And at turn 7, we both kind of hit the wall, but theirs is more of a slam and they get a half a second penalty. So I make the overtake at turn 8 and the race is pretty much over after that. I got 3 wins. 3 wins and a podium. I mean, there was a lot of other terrible things that happened, but we don't need to discuss that because we got 3 wins and a podium. To be honest, this is the best session of Gran Turismo I've ever had. And I even got my DR back into the upper 8,000s. So later on in this week, I would use this track to finally get to B rank. And currently I have over 11,000 DR. So we are for real showing progress on the road to A+. I mean, that was an amazing session. And I hope to have the same, if not better sessions in the future, especially now that I'm in B rank. I'm in a whole nother rank. So I'm going to need to buckle down and figure out ways to find more pace in qualifying like I did at the end, that last race there. So I'm able to compete at these higher positions because I'll be honest and say that now that I'm at B rank, I'm at my current skill limit. But I'm going to be looking at my telemetry data and watching the top drivers, picking out what they're doing to cut my time and try to implement what they do in my technique. So I hope to see all of you out there while I continue this journey. If you haven't already subscribed or liked the video, now would be the perfect time to get that done. As you see, I'm starting this channel out and would like as many people who are into racing and would like to see this old man's journey as possible. And you doing your part helps that out. So I'll see you guys on the next stream or the next short or video that I put out. Y'all have a good one, and I'll see you on the next Rolling Start.